Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream. Hope you guys are all having a great day. What's up? We got Dwayne Zapane, Dr. Nezneb, Spitzkoff, Larry Dynamite, Dream Eater 99, Mets fan, and KO Hearn in the house so far. What's up, everybody? I hope you guys all had a fantastic new comic book day. You were able to grab all of your books. I'd say it was a pretty solid week overall, and I ended up not getting as many physical copies as I would have liked. I've got 2, 4, looks like about 6 books to do for digital, but physical copies I've got 3, 6, 7. So I'm going to be going over today. We got Old Dog, brand new one with Silk, the Nasty, Something Epic. You know, I had to pick up that Eminem, what was it? Eminem show homage. Oh man. Something Epic was pretty epic as well. We got the brand new one from Boom Studios. We got Ghost Lore, new Noctara, and the Ambassadors. As far as the digital ones go, we got Kong, Scar, Green Lantern, Daredevil, and the other new one from DC. What was the other new one? Spirit World as well. We're going to be going over all of them today. It was really crazy, guys. So I head to my shop like I usually do, and you know, I always talk about, I don't really have a pull list at this point. I just kind of show up. I hope for the best. I hope that, you know, they have my books available. I actually only had one book on my pull list this week. I'm pretty sure it was just Noctara. And right off the bat, I look at Daredevil. I'm like, all right, they usually have Daredevil. There was no Daredevil, so I had to read that one digitally. And then I feel like from there, as I'm going down the list of the books that I'm trying to pick up this week, I'm looking at the shelf. And I'm like, oh, sweet. This is the last one. How lucky. And every single book I feel like was the last one. And I don't know. It could have been a really bad new comic book day. I'll put it that way. Like I said, the only one that was actually on my pull list was Noctara. And sadly, I got the cover C too. I don't like these black and white covers, but it was the only one available, especially when you see what the actual cover A looks like. Oh, it's so nice. All right. Liz Denny in the house. Chelsart and stuff. What's up, everybody? Said my LCS only had one Eminem show homage. Snagged that. I saw one Eminem homage. They had a bunch of the regular covers, though. I think I saw... there was another one I saw, but it was a no-brainer to me. What's up, everybody else? What a beautiful day in Connecticut. Dude, it's a beautiful day in Pennsylvania. I hope everyone's got some good weather. May the dollar bring gods. Oh, speaking of that, real quick. You know how I was talking about on Tuesday stream? I showed off all the books that I found at the show over the weekend. It was all those $5 books. I was able to swap them, and I traded them for 2 Game Boy Colors. They're both in awesome condition. I got to clean them up a little bit, but I thought it was a good trade-off. Mr. Negative, what's up, buddy? I'm having a really good day. I hope you guys are having a great day too. So with that being said, I want to jump right into this. I think I got total like what? 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, 11, 12. It's like 13 books I think I got today. Next issue's got some great covers. I got to check that out too. All right. I see Chaos says you're up against Comic Pals weekly video. I'm going to be honest. It's no disrespect. I don't know who they are though. It's not about a competition here. We all like putting out comic book content. Oh my God, Lyle. Warm up here, -12. Yikes. Hey, Texas Snake, what's up, buddy? I have a collection of movie poster type variants. So, oh man, the Terminator one. The Terminator one was the one that I saw because you mentioned the Exiles, and I have the Terminator homage for the Exiled number 3. I think that's what it is. So I looked at it, I was like, I could add more to the Terminator. Because I think it's what? Is it Terminator 2? Is that the cover? Homage? Terminator 2, maybe number 3? I don't think it's number 1. But I saw it and I thought it's one or the other. It's got to be the Eminem show. I used to be obsessed with that album. Let's see. Can't wait for the tier list. Always my favorite part of these streams. Spitzkoff, man, I love doing it too. I'm glad you enjoy it, man. My LCS just had cover A. Oh, man. At least they had cover A, though. Like I said, my shop's walls were looking real barren for new comic book day. I've been talking about it lately. I've been saying, you know, I go in. They used to have like a couple long boxes, I feel like, for the new comic book day stuff to get put out on a shelf. Because I used to go in on Wednesday morning to get my books. I used to help them put everything out. And it's just lately, it dropped to like one long box, and I feel like it's like a quarter of a long box that goes out on the shelf. They're empty. They are very empty for New Comic Book Day. It's a shame. Even for Dynamite, they didn't have Scar, they didn't have Kong. I had to read both of those digitally. I skipped over Extreme Venomverse. I was not interested. I had no interest in that. 3 short stories. My shop didn't get DC in. Gotta wait to read Superman Lost and Green Lantern. I'm gonna be going over Green Lantern. Superman Lost. Sadly, I'm not reading. I've heard very good things about it though. But yo, let's jump right into this. We're gonna go over. I'm looking at all the books right now, trying to determine like publishers. I'll do Dynamite first. I'll get them out of the way, and I'll move into DC right after. So let's see. My shop shelves were the same, but I got all my titles. Nice. See, I always say, the pull list is smart, but I feel like I don't know. I'm very picky with the books, and I'd hate to get, say, one issue and I don't like it, and then I want to drop it because maybe the last few were a bunch of stinkers, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, we ordered the next one, and maybe I forget to take it off the pull list, and next thing you know, I already got a couple extras. Second Street, what's up, buddy? No, I didn't get the Scar, but I'm actually going to start off with that one first. So we got Scar, issue number 2. The cover you're looking at off the side there is cover A. I'm going to be real with you. I was very hyped up for that first issue. I thought it was really cool. I really like to see Scar's perspective on things. I really like to see how the kingdom was kind of against him. And instead of it being focused on Simba and Mufasa and all the other popular characters, it all shifted to Scar. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm excited to see where they go with this. But deep down in my mind, I still knew it's a Disney villains book. I'm not super interested in reading about all of the Disney characters. I understand this is supposed to be Disney villains. It's going to be a little bit more on the dark side. But maybe that's just me. I guess I don't particularly care about Disney because I know they've got, how do you say it? Maleficent or whatever the hell that movie was. They got that character coming out, I think, next week. I'm probably going to give that one a try too. But I don't think this was a bad issue. I just don't think it's really for me. The same thing is pretty much going down in this issue. Hey, Joseph, what's up, buddy? Pedro, what's going on, buddy? It's just, we got Scar, and he's unhappy with where he is in life, where he's at in the kingdom. He thinks that he's owed something, when in reality, he's technically not, because now Simba's there to take over the throne eventually, when he thinks he should be the leader of, they call it a pride, the leader of the pride. We get to see him... Yeah, he's hunting for a little bit. He's dealing with some other lions, and I don't know. It's just, I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Like I said, I'm not trying to like talk bad about it when I just don't think it's something that's going to resonate well with me. I just don't particularly care about the Disney stuff. But I feel like overall, that's basically what happened in the issue. I don't like to get into heavy spoilers. Obviously, there's going to be some spoilers with some of the stuff that we talk about today. We talk about the plot. We talk about some of the big things that happened in the issue, but not kind of the details, the things that are going to spoil the rest of the story. Because if you are reading it, you're going to have an understanding of where the story kind of is going. And obviously Scar with Disney. It's about Scar. Oh shit, you spoiled it. No, you obviously know where it's going to be going. But yeah, Dynamite said it best. I think you need to be a fan of it. And like I said, I'm not saying I'm not. It's just, I gave the first issue a shot. It was really cool. And I think the nostalgia and everything just kind of worn off. So I'm probably not going to be continuing on with this one. I like the old Disney, so I will check this one out, but the covers are great. I will say that, Spitzkoff. They did a great job on all of these covers. Scar was the only one I was maybe going to get, but I love Lion King, and it's a mini-series. I've been trying to wait on the trades from them lately. I think that would be a little bit better, read it in a trade. And that's the other thing, Dynamite. You know the story. Obviously, some things are probably going to be a little bit different, or at least I'm assuming they're probably going to be different. I don't know what kind of creative power they have to make in this Disney series. I don't know if they have to really stick to kind of the actual Disney story. I don't know if they can go off the rails a little bit. But yeah, just with my knowledge from what I have read, I just don't think it's going to be something for me going forward. And I see people talking about Kong. I just saw Austin. What's up, Austin? I hope you're doing well too, man. Ideal City would have cared when I was 12. I'd hate to say I feel the same way, but if I was younger, I probably would have cared about it a little bit more. But I think I saw someone else mention Kong too, but we're going to talk about that one next. This is actually one that I was really looking forward to this week. I was really excited for Kong. I'm not going to say I had high expectations. I always like to keep my expectations, especially something like this, just a little bit limited. I don't know. I can't read who the writer is on this one. I don't know who the writer is off the top of my head. Same with Kong or Scar. I don't remember. I like to tell you who the writer and artist is. This one, what do you guys think? I feel like it was a letdown. I really do. I felt like it was extremely boring, and it almost felt as though what was the King Kong movie, whatever the King Kong movie was that was years ago. I think it had, what's his name, Anthony Broderick, is that his name? Him, and I think Jack Black was in it too. They just kind of show up on the island, and I feel like that's exactly what happened in this issue, and that is literally it. They show up to the island. We see our main character, and he kind of has some flashbacks here. At least from what I can recall, I'm pretty sure they're flashbacks. And then eventually he comes to, and whatever's left of his crew from the ship that crashed, Adrian Brody. Who's Anthony Broderick? Oh, Broderick. I'm thinking of the dude from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. No, good call, Dynamite. Adrian Brody. But yeah, I feel like the ship crashed, and once he finally kind of came to on the island, and he saw like a monster or something like that, the rest of the crew was like, "This is a bad island. There's a lot of bad things in this island," and the main guy just says, "All right, we're gonna climb up this mountain. We're just gonna, scale this mountain," and everyone's kind of thinking to themselves, we don't really scale mountains. We don't do that. And it kind of just showed them scaling this mountain, and I feel like that was really it. You got a glimpse of Kong at the very end of it, but until that, nothing really happened in it. I don't know. Like I said, it really reminded me of the movie where they just kind of showed up on the island, and they are starting to realize that there's bad things on the island, and that was literally it. Nothing else happened at all. Skull Island. I don't know. I was gonna say Jeezy Creasy. I don't think it was Skull Island. Whatever the other one was called. Let me look it up real quick. I think it was just called... It might have just been King Kong or Kong. From 2005, King Kong. That one. Oh, yeah. Adrian Brody, Jamie Bell, Andy Serkis, Naomi Watts, Jack Black, and Peter Jackson was in it too. That's cool. But yeah, that movie. It definitely had those vibes, in my opinion. So I don't know. Another one that I kind of was really interested in, but it also seemed like a letdown in my opinion too. But what'd you guys think of it? I'm sure I'm not the only one that read that book, and hopefully I'm the only one that kind of feels that way. I'm hoping that everyone really enjoyed it, but I guess I was just expecting a little bit more. It felt, when I was reading it, it felt like something that I've already watched or read before. I'll put it that way. What should we go to next? I like to get the digital ones out of the way first, so then I can just keep the physical copies in front of me. I only got one Marvel book this week, so we're gonna do Marvel next. Let's see. Yeah, it's fair. I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying it. I guess that's kind of where I was too. Like, yeah, I kind of enjoyed it. That was about it. That's the thing with retelling stories. If we already know the ending, it's hard to make that interesting. And see, that's the thing. Like, like I said, I don't know what the creative, like how creative they can be with Scar. I don't know if they have to follow the script. I don't know if they have to follow, basically the Lion King, but maybe from a different perspective. I don't know if they can just have the creative freedom to do whatever they want with it. But I kind of feel maybe that's the same thing with Kong. Maybe they have to be a little bit more restrictive in what they can do with the series. But like I said, I was hoping for something a little different, and it just felt like something I've already seen or read. All right, I don't know if anyone wants to spoil it, but I'm okay with getting spoilers for ASM. I didn't read that crap, and I heard it was really stupid. Something happened with Mary Jane. From what I remember, I think I liked the Skull Island movie too. I'm gonna look that one up really quick as well. I think I saw that. John Goodman. Yeah, I've seen this movie. Oh, yeah, and John C. Reilly. Brie Larson was in it. I don't remember that. Let's see. That's a good point. That's why indies rule. Creative teams are not bound to corporate Marvel rules. That's what I mean. And it sucks because, you know, Dynamite, they have creative books and they have stuff like that where they pretty much do whatever they want, but they got these rights to the Disney characters, and at the same time, it's Disney, you know? So Dynamite, if you know Dynamite, you see the stuff that they put out with Hell Sonja, Red Sonja, Vampirella, and those types of characters. So they have to be a little bit more, you know, restrictive with what they do because it is a Disney title. They can't obviously be putting stuff like that in those books. Spitzkoff, I hope... I know you like to play around in chat. I hope you're screwing with us. Let's see. Mr. Negative. A Kong comic book should be great with a lot of action and monsters. They shouldn't need to worry about a budget so they can do whatever. I have faith in it going forward. But like I said, based on that first issue, it didn't really seem unique at all. It didn't seem like something I was like, wow, I need the next issue. I was kind of reading it more like, all right, there's only a couple pages left. What's going to happen with it? So nothing really came from it to me. I didn't read that one. Actually, shit, now that I think about it, I didn't get any free comic book day books. My shop had a big box of them, and I didn't really worry about getting any. What about an original Kong story exploring more of the early days of Kong? See, they can be, I'm telling you, it can be literally anything. It felt so similar. They show up to the island, except instead of them trying to get to the island, they kind of show up shipwrecked. And then they realize that there's monsters on the island, just like how it was in the movie. I don't remember the second movie, the Skull Island. I don't remember that one as well. But then it's just they're trying to survive, and then all of a sudden they get a glimpse of Kong, and... I don't know. If I'm spending $4, $5 on a book, I want something that's new to me. I'm late, but hey, just got back from the auto shop. Oh, that happens, man. That happens. I'm sorry. Global warming drives Kong crazy as he begins his journey to tear down every factory. Oh, if only, man. Senior ape. Yeah, that's the thing, too. The book could have literally been from the perspective on Kong, and I'm sure a lot of people really would have liked that, too. Oh, KO, I did pick up the Fish Flies. I think that's what it was called. Fish Flies from Jeff Lemire. I did pick that free comic book day issue up. I didn't read it yet. But like I said, I'm going to talk about Marvel next. Skull Island, Samuel Jackson fought back. Was that the movie? Did that happen? It's been a while since I've seen that, man. Let's see. Where are we at? Next up, we got Daredevil. This is issue number 11. So this is the only Marvel book I picked up this week. It's crazy. My Marvel list is getting smaller and smaller. And this is, 2 weeks in a row now? Maybe 3 weeks in a row now? I've read more DC books than I have read for Marvel. Last week, I only got one Marvel book, and I think it was Thor. And this week was only Daredevil. Oh, no, shit. I grabbed Silk, too. I grabbed Silk. How can I forget about Silk? Silk was actually decent. Damn, Chell's Art and Stuff. You went to 4 places for free comic book day. I forget if I brought it up on Tuesday, but on Saturday for free comic book day, I went to a show out in kind of central Pennsylvania. I don't even remember where the hell it was, but it was like an hour and a half away. I think maybe an hour and 40 minutes away, something like that. And by the time I got there, we were there for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, and drove back. I didn't want to go to the shop. I was fucking exhausted. Marvel's going the same direction as Disney. It sucks. Marvel, I hate to say it, but Marvel just has not been good. It's almost as if every time I pick up a book from Marvel, it feels, besides Miles Morales, the series has been awesome. It feels like a chore to get through some of these books. Now, I am going to talk about Daredevil, and I've got positive things to say about Daredevil. This was a really good issue. Again, I am thoroughly enjoying this series. The only thing that I think is kind of throwing me off with this series is how Daredevil is kind of... what was it? I always mix it up. Was it the fist, the hand, whatever he's dealing with? I think it's the fist. But now I don't remember. He's kind of unsure of himself with a lot of things going on. He had this game plan. He's with Elektra, he's with Stick, he broke out all of the people from the prison, and he wanted to take down the Punisher, and like I said, he's part of the Hand. Appreciate it. Man, I always mix them up. I mixed them up, I think, last time, too. Turtle satires the Foot. Wait, did I say the Foot? The Foot Clan? Did I say Foot Clan? So either way, so he's with the Hand, and he's trying to take down the Punisher, the Fist, and all those bad guys. At the same time, he's trying to still rehabilitate all of these inmates, all these prisoners, saying they shouldn't be here for these reasons. They need a second chance at life. But at the same time, you know, you can't just break people out of a highly guarded prison like that in the middle of the ocean. So the Avengers came at him in the last issue, and now this issue is kind of more of a recovery issue. Not a lot of stuff happened. It actually focused on Detective Cole North. Well, not too many spoilers, but he's not really a detective anymore. But I like how the series started, not this series, but the very first volume of Daredevil with Chip Zdarsky. And Detective Cole North, he's trying to take down Daredevil. And as that series progressed, and now this series progressed, you saw how Cole was kind of more of a, I'm not sure if I can be doing this job anymore. I'm not sure if this is really for me, because even though maybe I stop a couple of these bad guys, they're going to be right out on the street. Whatever differences that he makes, it's not going to change the overall, just the criminal justice system. It's not going to be changing the judicial system. So he kind of gives up on that life in this issue, and he goes back to Daredevil, and he's like, you know, man, you got to stop feeling bad for yourself. You got to stop feeling sorry about all these things that just happened. You've got a job to do. You've got this idea in your head, and you need to follow through with it. Everything that you've done in the past was for a reason. And that's kind of the focus on this issue. I don't want to spoil too much more from it, because some other stuff obviously does happen. They get into it a little bit back and forth. But I do really like just Matt Murdock's take going forward. He doesn't seem like the Matt Murdock, the Daredevil that we used to know. I want to know your guys' opinions on that, because it feels like his whole perspective has kind of changed. He's taken more of a religious route with stuff, and he's like, he keeps, I mean, I know he's always talked about that in the comics, but now he's really going all in, where it kind of seems more like, I'd hate to put it in those words, like a cult, like a crazy religious cult. That's kind of, it seems like that's his mindset right now. Just my take on it, my opinion. What do you guys think, though? Holy shit, 300 plus covers next week. Had my kids soccer that morning, so by the time I got to the shop, I believe that, man. Sometimes that happens. They, the free comic book day books like that, you really have to get there early for, because you got the people who are trying to flip them. And I still think that's crazy that people try to flip, a free comic book day issue. Like, you showed up, maybe you paid $1 or $2 for it, but for the most part, you got them for free. And is it really worth, like, I don't know, the bag and board for starters, and then you got to actually ship it out. And by the time, maybe you don't pay for shipping, so maybe whatever, but what's your profit margin? Maybe $10, if that. $10 per book, I should say. Let's see. Chaos says, my store gives out 3 for free. I pay them to hold me a complete set. It's easier. I forget what my shop did last year, though. I feel like, so I think last year they charged for a couple books, but I don't remember exactly what they did. Let's see. Pedro, I'm into Daredevil, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, not ASM. Wolverine. I heard Wolverine's really good, and I am very excited for the new Hulk series. It says they're taking a horror direction on it, and, you know, I love my horror books. I'm just happy Marvel finally is giving Miles some kind of competent writing. He deserves it, and Ziegler is giving Miles justice. Cody Ziegler is a great writer. Cody Ziegler has done phenomenal work, and I'm really excited where the rest of that series goes. Let's see. Matt Murdock left the lawyer job, and that has turned him into a different direction. And, like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It feels like he's got, like, a whole new personality, that he's not this goody-goody two-shoe Daredevil anymore. He is just, like I said, I hate to call it, like, kind of a religious cult, but based on the last few issues, that's kind of how it seemed. He's got this mindset and plan. Whatever was in that book, that is exactly his goal, and that was his only goal, and he didn't care what he had to do to accomplish it. Because apparently, what was his buddy's, not his buddy, but what was his name? He called him Goldie. Because he kept saying, like, Matt Murdock is the prophecy. Daredevil, he's prophesized to do this. And everyone keeps talking about the prophecy with Matt Murdock and Daredevil, and that he's got to follow through with it. Only wanted fish flies, the sacrificers, and Conan anyway. Well, Steven, let me see what my shop still has. And I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but you can reach out to me, assuming you have Instagram, and I'll see if they have them. I don't think they have the Conan, and I'm not sure about sacrificers, but I'm pretty positive they still have fish flies. My LCS gives out 5 free and 10 more if you have food donation. That is awesome. That is very cool. A food donation for extra books. Forbidden Planet. That's pretty cool too. Forbidden Planet's a huge ass comic shop. Yeah, the lawyer job kept him in pretty... Yeah, that's... So I thought that was really cool too. I guess, I don't know, maybe he had the morals because he was a lawyer and he's always dealing with the law and he's putting people away, he's arresting them. And it's like... I mean, if I had the pictures up right now, I could show you a little bit better, but he's got this big beard. I don't know if you guys are reading this series, but he's got long hair now, a big beard, and he's just kind of doing his thing, man. Brian, what happened to that beautiful eye? Man, that's, what did we call it? Someone fucking said that's, my twin coming out. Nah, I get a lot of eye infections, bro. And this turned into something else that I gotta get fucking cut. I gotta get cut off. That's happening next week, though. So it's gonna look like which one? This one? It's gonna look like that eye, hopefully. But we'll see. Oh yeah, dude, let me know. I'll keep you posted. Yeah, that's how it seems, GZ. He just kind of seems like full vigilante. I guess I don't know exactly where his mindset is and exactly what he's doing, but the way that this issue ended, I feel like we keep getting off topic, but this to me is why these live streams are so awesome. We're going back and forth. It's almost as if we're here chatting about these comics. We're talking about all the things going on in the series around these characters. This is why I do this shit. I love it so much. But the end of the issue is this, because you brought up went full vigilante. The ending of this issue was crazy. And that's why I'm really excited to see what else Chip Zdarsky's up to with this one. He's cooking up some good shit right now. And Daredevil, he's more of not just like, he is more of a devil now, is what it seems to me. Like, he's not just doing, he's not doing things by the books anymore, and I love it. Tell him to be careful cutting around her. Oh, dude, that is true too. Lucky for me. I mean, I'm not going to fucking show you. Lucky for me though, it really is it's just on the eyelid. If you were watching my videos from like a year and a half ago, I had something similar, on the top part of my eye. I'm telling you, you get one infection and all of a sudden you're fucking prone to them, and you're prone to all these other fucking things. So it sucks. I think he's doing what he really wanted to, but being a lawyer, he couldn't. I don't know. It might be. Based on his character, he always seemed that way. Like, you gotta be by the books. You gotta do it right when he's talking like to the Punisher and shit like that. But man, now it's just like, I know you guys have read this issue. I got it up digitally right now. The ending of this one was crazy because they brought the Stromwinds. If you remember them, they brought the Stromwinds back into it. Good shit with that one. Matt Murdock looks like he should be working for the motorcycle lawyers. Oh wait, what's Second Street say? Consistent, but are they good? Casey. Oh god. Oh yeah. All right. Casey Rudd said Daredevil and Moon Knight have been the most consistent Marvel books over the past year. I think Daredevil's been very consistent. Moon Knight lost me for a little bit. It's back to being good, I think, but I will admit the last couple of issues I don't think were that good either. I don't know. I think, what's his name? Jed MacKay? Yeah, I think it's Jed MacKay. I think Jed MacKay's a great writer. I'd say overall, the Moon Knight series is definitely a good read. But the beginning of it was just so much better. And then once we got to the middle, lost me a little bit. And the start of this most recent arc pulled me right back in. But at the same time, it kind of went a different direction from them too, and I don't know. It still hasn't been that good. Rogue says, I'm getting tired of Punisher. I'm 2 issues behind, so I got to get caught up on that. Wolverine has been consistent. Wolverine's such a series, man. Wolverine and Ghost Rider are the two that I really regret not sticking to, sadly. Hey, Black Box Comics in the house too. Shit, I was supposed to reach out to you. I got so busy over the last 2 days. I got the other package in the mail. I was talking about it on Tuesday's stream. I was hoping you popped in, but I don't think you did. Man, the t-shirt's fire. I was gonna wear it for tonight, but I didn't do laundry yet, and I wanted to wash it first before I wore it. And man, you hooked me up with all those second issues. I'm almost done with all the number ones. I was talking about it all on Tuesday, but man, was it Project Icarus? So I'm saving Dream Master, and the other ones that I was really looking forward to, I'm saving them to read last. But man, Project Icarus was so good. That's my favorite one that I've read so far. And I think the coolest thing about all the books that I have read from Black Box Comics, I don't know if this is just me thinking this, but a lot of the artwork kind of has this 90s style vibe to it, and it's killer. The only one that didn't have that to me was Djinn Hunter. That was a little bit more of a, it was more of a fantasy book. So that's what I was talking about on Tuesday. It's not exactly my type of book. Wasn't bad, but not something I typically read, and that was more of a modern, colorful art style compared to like the 90s that the other ones felt. But seriously, you guys fucking rock. Your books have been awesome so far. Man, like seriously, thank you so much. Everybody needs to check those books out. They really have just been killer from what I've read. All right, back to this. I had to give you guys props again. You guys are fucking awesome. Seriously, I appreciate the hookups, but seriously, the books are really good. Let's see. McKay Strange series was good with Clea. Oh, I didn't know McKay did Clea. However, with the Doctor Strange series, I didn't keep up with it. I'm not too interested. I agree about Wolverine Fancy Pants. I always gotta wash John Johnson, bro. I always gotta wash a shirt first. I feel like, I don't know. It's just one of those things. I feel like I gotta wash it first. And just, I don't know. It's just a weird thing I've always done. I'm old school. Punisher, Daredevil, Invincible, Iron Man. Iron Man, has that stayed good? And I heard Captain America Sentinel of Liberty wasn't good. Ghost Rider, though, that's my biggest regret from Marvel this year, is stopping that one. Oh yeah, Dynamite. I heard number 5 was really good too. I had some people reaching out to me about it. I heard that was a good one, but like I said, I'm saving those ones for last because I've been really interested in them. Yeah, that's probably the other reason. Doctor Strange is more of a fantasy. It's a fantasy book, magic, wizard, shit like that, and it's just not really my thing. Not really my thing. All right, cool. At least it's not me. Second Street's on the same page. But let's talk about the other Marvel book that came out this week that I picked up. This one, oh, actually, shit. I got a physical copy of this one, I think. I was very on the fence with this, and I'll tell you what. The only reason that I grabbed this, let me get this off. The only reason I grabbed it, we got Silk number 1, was because the artwork is awesome. I think the artwork was really well done. And I'm going to tell you straight up, after I show you this artwork, because this is what it looks like. This, I'm telling you, this artwork was great. I'm looking at that like, wow, they did a great job on that. They swap it up a few. If you read the issue, you know what I mean. The only thing I didn't like about it is I didn't really know what was going on, like, at all. I don't know if that was by design, but I have not read any of the other Silk stuff recently. I know there was another series. I think it was a 5-issue miniseries, and I think there was another series before that, and I didn't read either of them. So I had no idea what was going on in this. Let me see this. Jacef, the artwork. Yeah, let me show you another one real quick. The artwork was just so good. I loved it. There we go. I don't know if I just showed you that page, but yeah, the artwork was awesome. Looked really nice. It brought me in. And plus, as far as new Marvel series goes, this one was $3.99. And usually the new ones are all $4.99. But let me see. We got Sydney Moon, Silk, and this is what I was trying to get at. I don't know if other things led to this moment, because they obviously seem that way. Because the end, well, I'm not going to spoil the ending for you guys. But based on how it ended, Cindy realized that you guys can come to that realization midway through the book, but she came to the conclusion that she's dreaming. All the stuff that's going on around her isn't actually happening. So she catches herself in kind of different dream worlds, and there's somebody behind it. Well, there's some stuff going on with her in the real world, but people are they kind of have her hostage, or they're monitoring her, something along those lines. And some of the comments they made it seem as though that you had to read something prior to this. And I think going forward, I don't know if I'm going to be continuing on with the series for that reason. Mainly because I felt very lost reading it. Hold on. Yes, you have to read them. So Pedro confirmed it, which really sucks. Because it was a good issue. It honestly was a good issue. But the problem is I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know who the characters were. I didn't know why she was kind of held hostage. I didn't know what led her to being held hostage. What she did to be in that situation to begin with. None of that was making sense. But as far as the stuff that they did while she was in the different dream worlds, I really liked the action. I liked the flow of the story. It was really well done. So I don't know. It's a little tough for me right now. I don't know if I should continue on with it. I don't know if maybe I should go out of my way to try to find some of those older issues or the older series that's going to lead into this. Because based on the first issue, it does seem like it's got a good premise. It's got a good idea. And the writer is Emily Kim. And I'm going to be honest, I don't really know anything else that Emily Kim has done. But based on this one, I got high hopes for it. I really do. Let's see. Anyone else excited for TMNT versus Street Fighter in 2 weeks? That one's probably going to be pretty cool. I see another disappointed in Spider-Man 25. I think that's the second or third one today. No one actually confirmed if that with what happened with MJ was actually true or not. Because I know my man Spitzkoff likes to screw around. But if that was true, I don't know. K-Bar, what's up, buddy? No, you missed out on the 2 Dynamite books. I did Kong, Scar, and then I did one from, well, technically 2 now from Marvel. I did Silk and Daredevil. So outside of that, I didn't get to anything else yet. You know how I gotta do. I gotta save the indies. But yeah, that's kind of my take on Silk. I think the art was really good. I liked the dialogue. I liked how the issue was kind of laid out for us, the different dream worlds, the action. The action was on point. Let me see if I can get another cool action panel for you guys. Because there's like kind of this demon thing that was following her around in the dream world. So that's kind of what she was fighting for the most part. But as I said multiple times now, oh yeah, that's another cool page. But as I said a few times now, I just didn't know what was happening. And I got to read something beforehand to have a full understanding to like truly appreciate this issue. No one excited. It's probably gonna be pretty cool, but I feel like at this point there's a lot of like TMNT crossovers, and I'm not saying that this is on the same level of like Spider-Man books and X-Men books and stuff like that. But you've got a regular TMNT ongoing. You've got the Armageddon game series. You've got from IDW, I think also is the TMNT Saturday Morning Adventures. Then we just wrapped up the TMNT Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, TMNT Usagi Yojimbo, TMNT The Last Ronin. And now we've got TMNT versus Street Fighter. So I can understand if people are a little, it's getting to be a little overwhelming with all the TMNT books, but I think for the most part, a lot of people are pumped up for it. Let's see. Save the best for last. Oh, you know how it is, man. Always got to save the best for last. Always got to save the best for last. And Scotty Young covers. I don't know which Scotty Young covers you're talking about specifically, but Scotty always kills it too. Which covers did he do this week? I don't recall off the top of my head. Chell's art and stuff, I totally agree with that. I didn't like Scotty Young covers at first either, but as they went on, I was like, you know what? These covers are very unique, and I think that's why. Because, you can differentiate some artists, like, you see a Stegman, you see an Art Germ, you see Jae Hung Lee and Hook Lee, you see those covers and you're like, oh, and Lucio Perillo, it's like, oh, wow, that's a nice cover. But at the same rate, a lot of covers to an extent look kind of similar. I feel as though Scotty Young's, and I think this is why Peach Momoko is so popular too, because there's just nothing else like it, really. And I know Peach Momoko's is obviously a lot different from Scotty Young, and that's why a lot of people don't like Scotty Young's that much, because it is a lot of, baby form, childish form of a lot of these characters. But yeah, that's what it is, Spitzkoff. He's got his own style. And people like that uniqueness. It's different, it's unique, and when he drops a cover, people are going to get it because it's different than everything else on the market. And I think there is Pedro. That's why I like Peach Momoko and Zhang. Oh, John Zhang's got some good shit too. It's just, it's their own style, and it's unique to them. When you see that pop up, you immediately know who it is. You don't have to look at it. I feel bad saying these names, but it's like, you don't have to look at it and be like, oh, is that a Stegman? Oh, is that Ryan Brown? Who is this? Who did that cover? You know immediately who did that cover. Had to get another sip in after that one. Ooh, let me tell you. Now, these next two books I'm going to talk about, I feel bad because I'm not going to be able to get super in-depth with them. One more than the other, because my knowledge it's not there. So I decided, because everybody keeps talking, you got to read more DC. You got to check this out. And you know what? Y'all are right. Motherfucking DC, they've been killing it. Everything I've been reading from DC, I'm really enjoying. So we're going to talk about the new Dawn of DC, Green Lantern, issue number 1. It does also have a backup story. I'm going to be honest. I don't think I've ever read a Green Lantern book in my life. I talked about this with Superman. I never read a Superman book before. And, I'm diving more into this. I don't know if DC to me is just, it's new, it's fresh. These are new characters. And for the most part, a lot of these Dawn of DC books have been very easy to jump into. So to me, it's like, oh shit, I'm actually enjoying this because it's new, or it's just not Marvel. But this one, out of all the Dawn of DC books that I've read, from an outsider kind of looking in, I don't think this one was as new reader friendly as the other ones. Like Superman, I think whatever other ones I read, the Spirit World one that I'm going to be talking about very shortly, Shazam, I think I also read Green Arrow, maybe, I don't remember. But I don't think this one was as new reader friendly as the other ones. So if you're a fan of, you're trying to get more into DC, I think Green Lantern was very good. I think the artwork was great, and it sucks that I can't bring the artwork up onto screen right now for you guys, because I don't have it right in front of me. I only have it digitally. But looking at it, the artwork is the main reason that I ended up picking it up. It was fantastic. And plus, a lot of people, they hype up Green Lantern a lot to me. They're like, oh, if you're trying to get into DC, I think it's Jeff Johns' Green Lantern. That's what everyone always recommends I get into. I've heard Superman Lost is also really good. Let's see. Swear these new Dawn of DC books are mostly good with what's going on. DC making good books again. So that's actually the crazy thing. So DC, they got this Dawn of DC. They're putting out some really good books. And I think because these books have been very good, and I do see a lot of people talking about DC books, I'm hoping that bleeds into the movies, and people can get hyped up about these movies too. Because this is the thing that I always talk about, where I always say, competition is good. Even back then when I was talking about with Whatnot, I was really hyping up the eBay Live. Because why? Because now there's competition against Whatnot. It's going to force Whatnot to be a better business. It's going to make them a better platform because they now have a competition. For the longest time, it felt like it was just Marvel doing the superhero stuff. DC wasn't putting out good comics. They're not putting out good movies. It's like you could throw Marvel on fucking anything and people were going to love it and everybody was going to be talking about it, and the complete opposite was for DC. And I'm not saying that the transition is happening, but I feel like the change is slowly happening. I'm seeing more people talk about DC. I'm seeing more people being excited about these movies, especially with James Gunn being there. Everyone's been hyping up Guardians. I didn't watch Guardians yet, so for the love of everything, please don't spoil it for me. I actually have not seen any spoilers yet. I'm really surprised, but I'm very excited for it. Let's see. Yeah, instead of doing 56 different crises. That's where we feel like that's where I feel like we are with Marvel, with a different event that just means nothing. While the crises were obviously different, these events are just little events. It's still an event after an event that's tying into all these books, and getting tired of this shit. I really am. But just a little bit about Green Lantern. From what I can tell you, I'm pretty positive. I'm trying to double check right now, but I think his name is Hal. Don't laugh, because I'm fucking telling you guys, I don't know jack shit about Guardians. I'm reading Guardians of the Galaxy now. I don't know anything about Green Lantern. I really don't. So I'm pretty positive his name is Hal, and he's officially back on Earth, and we're just kind of seeing him adjust to what's going on Earth. So this is where I'm going to say that I don't think this issue was as new reader friendly compared to a lot of the other Dawn of DC stuff that I read, because with Superman and then with Shazam specifically, you got to see a little bit of their backstory, a little bit of kind of their origin story. At least with Shazam, you got the origin, you got his powers, you saw what he's up to in his day-to-day, what his powers even are, how he got them, who he got them from, and a lot of his other capabilities. Superman, everybody knows what's up with Superman, but they still showed who the characters were. They had a nice little introduction to them. And then after you got all the introductions out of the way, it jumped into it, and it still wasn't an overwhelming jump into. This one didn't really have that. And I didn't know who... I saw someone say Hal Jordan. Pedro said Hal Jordan, so I appreciate that. You got to see him. You got to see the other Green Lantern. What was it? John Stewart. That's the second part of the story. That's kind of like the backup story. The girl that's in here, I think her name was, I'm trying to check it out real quick. Let's see. I don't even know her. Was it Fairy? Is that her name? Ferris? Yeah, Ferris. I didn't know who Ferris was. I didn't know what was going on. And to be quite honest, I really don't even know what some of Green Lantern's powers are. I know he's got the ring, and the ring, he gets a lot of powers from the ring, but they started showing some other characters in there too, and I think they were talking about some stuff that's happened in the past, why he's now back on Earth, but they didn't really get into details with it. So, to me, I was a little lost with it, but it was still really fucking good. I really enjoyed it, and even though I felt lost, so I can compare these two, Green Lantern and Silk. Silk, I felt lost. Green Lantern, I also slightly felt lost. And Green Lantern was still, in my opinion, on an entirely new level compared to Silk. And I'll tell you what, I know a lot more about Silk than I know a single thing about Green Lantern. Sinestro. Oh, was that the guy at the very end? Let me go back and look at that real quick. Or Sinestro... No, Run from Steel Fury. So they had Steel Fury in it, and then I think Sinestro was probably the one at the very end, if I had to take a guess. But like, that's why I said, with this book, I'm sorry, I don't have a ton of knowledge on the characters, the stories in the past, but I wanted to at least give a half-ass, I don't even want to call it a review, it was more of giving you my opinion. It was a very good read, and for someone who doesn't read a lot of DC, it wasn't that new, it wasn't a good new reader-friendly book, but it was still very enjoyable, and you did get the character names, you did get some stuff, but it wasn't as in-depth like Shazam and Superman were, I'll put it that way. Let's see. If you enjoyed it, you should read Rebirth. I heard Rebirth stuff was good, too. He's the pink guy. Oh, gotcha, him. So he was the guy in the city. Gotcha. Yeah, I was gonna say, from what I remember, they said in the book, they said he's got the Manhunter armor and it's dangerous, but I don't think they ever said who the guy actually was, and that's why I thought, all right, well, I don't know if this is like a new character, I don't know what's going on with this, but moral of the story is I am enjoying it. Let's see. Powers: Green Lantern can make constructs by the ring if you have strong willpower. I think they kind of went into that, but not too much. I don't think you need to learn all that other stuff in the beginning, though. That's why I said, with Shazam and Superman, I felt like they gave intros to, what was it, Lois Lane and whoever his other buddy is. So, you know, stuff like that. Just little things. And then Shazam, they had like text blocks of everything, laying out who Shazam was. Oh, they assume you know because he's Hal's arch enemy. Okay. Well, see, that makes sense too. But see, I wouldn't have known that. But they kind of didn't really make it seem like that. Either way, we can keep talking about that one a little bit more, but let's jump into the other new DC one this week. We got Spirit World issue number 1. This one, I really like this one. I gotta double check on her name to how to pronounce it. I had it up right here. Xantha. This isn't her first appearance, but she's a very cool character. I like the Spirit World. I liked everything that was going on in Spirit World. The only problem with this one is well, they told us what was going on. It referenced what you need to read beforehand. There was I'm trying to search it super quick. Constantine made an appearance in it as well. There it is. It says, see Lazarus Planet Dark Fate. So there is a little bit of reading to do before this book, and I think that's going to clear everything up. But at the same time, they still let you know basically what was going on and what happened. This is just see this issue for more in-depth as to what really went down. KO, that's why I really liked it. I remember talking about Tuesday when I was reading the description. I thought, all right, based on how it sounds, it seems as though if you're more of an anime manga fan, this might be something worthwhile picking up, and that's definitely the vibes that I got from it. And the artwork is awesome, guys. The artwork for this one is so good. Damn, it kills me that I don't have a physical copy for you. I'm going to be real with you. I always thought I'd prefer physical books, but I have been enjoying reading them digitally as of late. I'm not saying I'm going to go digital in the future, but for some of these books like DC, maybe some of the other indies that I know my shop won't get, I might have to go digital for a lot of them. But as I was saying, Constantine made an appearance, and in this one, they're basically trying to find Batgirl. She went into the spirit world, and what Xantha was saying is that real humans can't really survive that long in the spirit world, so that she's got to go in there, but she also can't find a portal anymore. It got closed off. So there was kind of a lot of stuff going on in this first issue. A lot of characters, I'm not sure I don't think they're first appearances by any means. But I was going to say they're, for the most part, new characters to me. So there's kind of a lot of new characters in this one, characters I had to try to remember. But once they made it into the spirit world, well, the other characters that were in the spirit world, we got to see kind of the demons that were in there, the different types of spirits. And we got some really cool action in this one as well. So of all the DC books that I've been picking up recently, as I said, I am a manga, I'm a manga and an anime fan. I really recommend checking this one out. Let's see. Yes. Evil's Comics. Excited for the orphan side of it. That character that they were talking about, what is her name? The older lady. Not Bowen. Bowen was the other guy. I guess they call her Popo. I don't know who that is. Josephel. For representing Coors, I live 5 minutes. This is actually a homecoming shirt from when I was in college. But the old lady Popo, that's how she seems. She kind of takes in all of these people within the spirit world, and I'm interested to learn more about all of them too. We got Bowen, Popo, then there's Xantha, and Xantha's powers are honestly really cool too. At first when I was reading, I thought that's a little cheesy. But basically whatever she creates out of paper, she can turn into the real thing, and I think that's really cool too. So I hope you guys were able to enjoy this one. And seriously, Joseph, I know I just read the comment off, but I really do appreciate the donation, man. You don't have to do that, but it does mean a lot. Thank you very much, buddy. Let's see. It was a reprint from the Lazarus Planet, all 3 stories. Okay. Was that the Lazarus Planet that they referenced? The whatever Lazarus Planet that they referenced, was that like a compilation of all of it? Yeah, Origami Power. Oh, but yeah, man, it's a shame that I can't bring up these pictures. The artwork was fantastic. The spirit world, they've got so many different colors going on. As I said, Batgirl was in there too. It was a very fun read, guys. Free comic book. They had a 3-story comic with this. Gotcha. Oh, of course, buddy. I love these streams. Like I said, I always talk about these too. I'm trying to get more into streaming. I've got a plan for the most part to try to do a Monday through Thursday stream. I don't know when that's going to kick in. But as of now, still Tuesday and Thursday, 100%. I'm trying to work on like a Monday, Wednesday thing. Let's see. Dark Fate, Lazarus Planet. Ah, gotcha. That's the one. Craig Walker. It sucks because even looking at the stream, like I don't like keeping that just kind of like right next to me, like this big old picture right here. I like to have something physical that I can just like bring up and show you guys, and then I can show off some of the artwork too. But it's until that time comes, I don't know. I agree though. It's a shame, but digital reading is kind of the future. It's a lot easier to even get your hands on. Like shit, I don't even have to go. I don't even have to go to the shop if I want to read these digitally. I can just get them on my iPad or my computer. But I love going to the shop though too. Oh, I've heard great things about Monkey Prince. Now I regret not reading Monkey Prince. That's probably another one that I really would have enjoyed. But let's see what we got next. We went through... All right, folks, if you're just tuning in, we went through Dynamite. We went through Marvel. We also now did DC. I think... So what? I think I got one from Boom Studios that I'll do next. Oh, and then I got one from Vault. Yeah, Boom Studios, Vault, and then Image. Cool. Breezy, that's a fact. As a reseller, it kills my business. And that's why I love supporting my shop. I love going there. I like getting the physical copies. I like supporting them. Although, like I said, they're not really doing a whole hell of a lot with New Comic Book Day anymore. They've focused a lot more on other things. None of this not getting comics due to spec, etc. Just download it. See, that's the other thing is I'm not getting these to spec. I'm not picking up, say, Silk 1 and being like, oh, I hope there's a first appearance in there. Maybe they're going to do something. Or same with the Spirit World book. Like, I'm not buying that banking on a first appearance or something to pop off with it, and then I could flip it for fucking $10. Let's see. AR, pretty broad question, but who do you think has been the most consistent writer going nowadays in terms of quality? I'd say, to be quite honest, I'm always very satisfied with Jeff Lemire's writing. I love his horror stuff. I think he writes really good books. I will admit though that you can't really read just the first couple of issues of a Jeff Lemire series. You really do need to see it through. So I can see why a lot of people don't pick up his stuff. They pick up the hardcovers, or they just kind of skip over it completely because they read it and they're like, oh, the first couple of issues were boring. Probably right. First couple of issues are usually boring, and he's laying the groundwork. He's really setting up a mystery. He's setting up a story. But I feel like I'm never disappointed with Jeff Lemire's series. Somebody mentioned last time, I think it was Kaiser. I don't know if Kaiser's here tonight, but he said he didn't like Primordial. And I'll admit, Primordial wasn't that great either. It was better on a second time read all at once, but overall it was still just all right. My shop usually doesn't get Scout Dynamite, and I did not see Quicksand at my shop. Todd Mealy, what's up, buddy? I'm doing really well, and I hope you are too. Let's see. No, I don't spec, but if it raises in price, I'm going to sell. Oh, no, I don't blame you on that either, buddy. I don't blame you one bit. That's your book. You bought it. You do whatever the hell you want to do with it. And especially, you got to capitalize on books like this. Like, look at whatever those Star Wars books were. Even Spider-Boy. Like, I'll bring up Spider-Boy real quick. Was that Spider-Man 7? Let's see if this is even held on. Let's see. Actually, well, shit. Here. All right, so this is for Spider-Man issue number 7. Holy crap, $35, $37. So this book is still held strong. $160 for 5 copies. Y'all are fucking nuts. 32, 30. Wow. I'm pretty surprised at that. I really am. I'm really surprised that this book is still selling. These fucking poo books, we got people watching right now. These Do You Poo books are so stupid. I can't fathom why people are spending money on this. Look at this. Follow Bloodhaven Night Comics on Whatnot. 15,000 follow. Why would you even put that in your eBay? Either way. I'm sorry. I had to get that one off my chest. I fucking hate those Pooh books. Let's see. I sold the Spider-Man 7 for $35 on Whatnot after I picked it up for $5. I don't blame you, dude. If people are going to spend that money, they're going to spend that money. It's not going to drop till it's a proven character doesn't have legs. Agree with that too. 100 years from now, what do you think is the most expensive comic book? 100 years from now. Obviously, I say obviously, but I think it is kind of obviously going to be a Spider character. If you look at it now, everything's a Spider character. They're want to see what sticks. As crazy as it sounds, I truly do think Miles Morales, the Ultimate Fallout 4, is going to remain a very expensive book. And even though I think it's a little down right now, I do think in the far future, like the very far future, that's going to be a massive grail. I really do. My honest to God opinion. Oh, Todd, man, I appreciate the unfiltered reviews. Really helps me sort out my polls. Man, you that really means a lot to me. I appreciate that. You didn't have to donate, but thank you, buddy. I do the best I can, and I try to stay as truthful as I possibly can. Like I said, with fucking Green Lantern, I don't know shit about that character. I picked it up basically because everybody was hounding me in the comments section. Even on the chat, everyone says Green Lantern's going to be good. Green Lantern's going to be great. I got to talk about that stuff with you guys. I want to know if it's going to be good or not. And I thought it was really good, but I don't have the knowledge like a lot of you guys on that character. I know my indies. I know a good chunk of Marvel, but because of all you, I'm slowly making my way into DC. And I know a lot of you comment this too. They say if it wasn't for your reviews, there's a lot of indie books you'd be skipping out on too. So that's why I said I love doing these streams. I love making these videos with you guys because it's such a back and forth conversation. I learned so much from you guys. You learned some stuff from me. Hopefully you learned some stuff from me. And it's always a fucking good time. It really is. At least I think it's a good time. Steven, I'm kind of a completionist though, looking at all those. Oh, man, those Alex Ross covers are so good, man. Those Alex Ross covers. Chell's art stuff. 100 years from now, The Simpsons #1 will be a top. I think so. People love The Simpsons, and Simpsons don't seem like they're going away. Yes, Steven. Tom Mealy is fucking dope. He's the man. I like Green Lantern a lot. I'm glad you enjoyed it too. Loved everything. See, that's the thing, Evils. I'm so new to it, and I've actually really loved everything from Dawn of DC. I'm pretty positive everything that I've read for these videos has all been either. I think they've all been A tier. Maybe even no. I don't think I put anything in S, but I'm pretty sure everything was A tier that I've read. Such good stuff. I'm happy for DC, man. Let's see. Green Lantern is my favorite character. Probably I just picked up the first. Oh, nice. Oh, I saw that. Vigil and then City Boy. So those are two more that I'm going to be checking out. Man, it's so cool to have this excitement for some of these comics going forward. It's not just like, oh, another Thor's. I hate to dog on Marvel again, but it's not like it's another Thor series, another another Spider-Man, another Hulk. I know DC readers could think the same thing, like, oh, well, they make series for these characters all the time. It's that it's new to me and it's well written. The stuff from Marvel just has not been well written almost at all. I mean, there's some obviously, but for the most part, they're just not good. Oh, Jarl, nice. One of your favorite characters. So I'm guessing you've read the Jeff Johns stuff. Let me know your opinions on it because I keep seeing Organic Price Books. I keep seeing their freaking ads pop up. They've got all 3 of the Omnis. Shazam was very good. Wade and Mora, it's a great team up. They were on Shazam, I'm pretty sure, right? That was the Shazam team. Found an Alf #1. Nice. Oh, Kevin O'Shea, man. Better late than never, buddy. Man, I'm doing great. Hope you're doing great. It's been a pretty solid new comic book day. You didn't miss a whole hell of a lot. I did Dynamite, Marvel, DC, and that was it. And now we're moving into, I'm gonna do Vault next, and then I'm gonna do Boom Studios. I've got one book from each of them. I grabbed the Nasty issue #2 from Vault. My man John Lee's on this one. He's such a good horror writer, and I honestly really enjoyed this one. I know I complained, at least I think I complained about the first issue where I said, John Lee's is a great horror writer. I don't think the artwork matched the story that he was writing, and I didn't think that it worked well with the story he was telling. I thought it was too colorful, it was too bright, too vibrant. But after reading the second one, it doesn't feel like the direction of the story itself is going down kind of more of that dark path, like one of John Lee's The Crimson Cage or the Hotel series from AWA. It didn't really seem like that at all. It did seem more of this horror kind of like a lighter horror story, if that makes any sense. So after reading the second issue, I think it worked a lot better. And here is the artwork, because I wasn't talking bad about the art. I think the art was nice. I just felt it didn't match the story. But I'm like I said, I changed my tune on that one. I think they did a good job on it. Let me show you a little bit more of the artwork in this one. Because you do have all these characters, and for the most part, they're all kids. They work at a video store, and the whole point of this is they're huge horror fans. They love horror, and they're trying to put on some horror festival, and they have to put out something incredible. They have to put out a horror movie that's going to scare people, that's going to keep the rental movie place in business. And from there, we've got our main character, and the whole issue is him being tasked with, he needs to have a script, he needs to find a crew, they need to get costumes, they need to get all that stuff, and that's basically what this entire issue was. You learn a little bit more about kind of what's going on in the series more towards the very end. That's when everyone else kind of sees what's actually happening, and they realize that they can actually make a very scary horror movie. So I don't want to ruin that for you, because The Nasty has been a really fun read, and I'll show you some more of the artwork because it has been very good too. Here's a couple more pages. But I think personally I needed this second issue as a confirmation if I'm going to be continuing on with this series. And no doubt I'm definitely going to be continuing on with it. I think it's very well written. I like the characters. I like the dialogue between them. It's not a plot twist, but what happens with them when they start filming at the end and everyone was like, oh my God, that just happened and everything's okay. That's where I think things are going to get really interesting with this series. So I hope you guys are checking it out. I always try to support John Lee's. I had the dude on the channel before. It was great talking with him. I said it before. I couldn't understand a lot of the stuff he was saying. I had to really try to decipher it. Man's got a really thick accent. But it was wonderful talking to him. I'd love to have him on again. Although using Streamlabs, I don't know how the fuck you have two people on anyway. Oh, man, Kevin, I thought that too. In the first issue when the VHS tape got eaten, I was like, man, I know all about that from back in the day too. But I wanted to see what the actual movie was. I was hoping that they were going to show a little bit. But I think I kind of have a theory. Not that the tape got ruined, but I think everything that's going on in their world right now with our main character right there in the front, I forget what his name is. He shows up at the very end too. Thumper. Right? Thumper? Yeah. Yeah, they, when Thumper comes back on, I feel like whatever they watched, that's what caused everything. And now, not that they're living in that movie, but that it kind of, it caught that them watching that movie and it being ruined. That's what sparked everything. And maybe the tape's going to magically reappear at some point too. I don't really know. That's just my, guess. Let's see. If you want to dabble in Green Lantern, a good place to start is the Danny O'Neill, Neil Adams run on Green Lantern, Green Arrow. It's kind of an easy rider. Trip across America, 70s, but fun. All right, Uncle Obscure, I'm going to take a peek at that. I appreciate it. I agree with that, Liz. A little more camp. It's definitely a little bit more campy like that. The twist was nice, but just want to be truly scared by books like this. I can agree with that. If I'm going into a John Lee's book, I would like it to be a little bit more horror, because that's kind of how Hotel was, and that's definitely how Crimson Cage was. Those were two fantastic series from him. And this just feels, I think that's probably the best way to put it. It's just a campy horror book. It's a little bit more lighthearted. It's not scary like those ones were, but it definitely has a horror vibe to it. Let's see. Remember the machines that just rewound the tapes? Mine was shaped like a car. Oh my god. Way back in the day. I remember seeing those at Blockbuster. Let's see. Volume 5 of Green Lantern and Jeff Johns is hands down the best in my opinion. Damn, everybody hypes up that Jeff Johns shit. I don't know how much. I'm sure the Omnis are expensive, but let's see what Organic Priced Books has. Well, you know what? Actually, I'll bring it up for you guys too, just so we all get to take a peek. If you guys have never been on their website, that's it. And I feel like they're going to have it on the front cover or the front of the website because all I'm seeing are fucking ads for it. Like ad after ad, but it doesn't look like it. So, all right, so they're $80. $80 for volume 1, volume 3, and volume 2. They're all $80. So what, $240 if you want all of them. Oh, bro, 10,000 Black Feathers was awesome. I was a big fan of that one too. But speaking of, I'm going to show you this super quick too before I get back to those reviews. When in doubt, right behind you. Yes, directly behind. It's always directly behind. It came in. Oh, shit. It's so nice. Oh, I didn't open it yet. This is the DCBS variant that I got from In Stock Trades. Oh, my goodness. I think it was like $30, and I love this cover. Big fan of the series. Oh, man. I just had to show you guys. I think, who is it? Joe L. Or Joseph L. I think he ordered it too. Dr. Cosmos Lab, what's up, bud? Chris Walker. Actually, I don't think I saw you earlier. What's going on, buddy? Let's see. I didn't get the man, if I got the ring, I would have showed you. I'm telling you, I'm pretty positive it's only like $30. In Stock Trades has got to be one of the weirdest websites that I've ever like ordered from. I'll tell you what. Let me type this in real quick. Let me see. I ordered this, I think. Yeah, so it's $30 for the DCBS exclusive and then $29 for the regular one. Actually, here, I'll just show you guys real quick too. There you go. Just so you guys can see it. They got both of those prices on there. They're the ones that are directly underneath me. Great price. I think after tax and whatever, it was like $33 something. So super good price. Let's see. Yeah, it is a good series. Nice pickup. I picked up the standard, but I have all the singles. I got all the singles too. Standard was $25. It was. And that's the thing is I was debating on picking that up because it was cheaper, and I thought, I was like, nah, I gotta get this one. I love it. Chris Walker, always watch the vids, but never comment. Oh man, well I appreciate you commenting, man. I appreciate the love and support too. Green Lantern's my favorite, but you and Robbie got me on indies. Hell yeah, dude. Robbie is such a dude on the indie books as well. He loves those books. I think we've had our differences on a few books. I didn't watch his last couple of videos, but I remember watching a few where he said that he didn't like a book at all, and I was like, oh, I love that book. I thought that was one of the best ones of the week. So we do have some different styles, but he's still a huge indie lover too, and that's all that matters to me. Let's see. That was from Vault. Let's move on to... Oh, this was such a fucking good one, guys. Let me get a... Oh, wait. Yo, I'm holding the book in my hand, and I'm like, where's the picture for it? No, we got from Boom Studios, Ghost Lore, issue number 1. This was the only copy my shop had. I'll tell you what. I think I said it at the beginning of the stream. Every time that I always go down the line. Whenever I get to my shop for New Comic Book Day, because I usually don't have a pull list, I just type in new comics this week for leagueofcomicgeeks.com, and then I just go down the list and I try to find all of those books. Almost every single book was the last book. And I remember, I did say this earlier. I was saying this could have been a potentially really bad New Comic Book Day for me. I almost missed out on like all of my books. Let's see. I've never been a big indie guy. Actually, very few catch my eye. Which one? Oh, Ice Cream. Wait, what was ISOM? What was that one? I was trying to think of that one. Let me know what that one is. Next to Stray Dogs, I spec'd hard on. Yeah, see, so that's the thing that really threw me off. Oh, it's actually an indie type. It's actually an indie type. Might be. Charles Arden Stuff says, gotta get back to my social media and eBay, but as always, I'll keep you in on the background. Oh, I appreciate that. Peace. Have a good night, buddy. Stay safe. Oh, from Ripaverse. That's what I was saying. It sounded familiar, but I didn't know what it was off the top of my head. But yeah, Junkyard Joe. I did grab Junkyard Joe too. I forgot to say that earlier. I grabbed issue number 6. I'm very behind. I only read like the first 2 issues. So this next one I'm going to talk about from Boom Studios. We got Ghost Lore issue number 1. You see who's written that one? We got our man Cullen Bunn on this one. Cullen Bunn. That's another one. When you see his name on a book and it's a horror book, you don't skip it, assuming you're a horror fan. Hey, BJ, what's up, buddy? I'm doing really good. I hope you're doing good tonight, too. I depend on you and Bueller to know what's coming in the next week. Yeah, he does those videos, too. I don't know if I think he goes over more covers than I do, but I don't know off the top of my head. Yeah, I don't know. But I know he goes over all the major publishers, and I think he goes over a bunch of the covers. I'm pretty positive it's more covers than me. But man, this artwork, I really like the artwork for this one too. There we go. Oh man, the artwork was great in this one. You really get like a nice horror vibe from it just right off the start. The colors, the grittiness. I love the lines on this one. I'll show you a few more pages. I'm going to get into it just a little bit, but it's kind of crazy because we didn't really learn, in my opinion, we didn't learn a lot in this first issue, but you really got to see the dynamic between the entire family. I'm talking the mom, dad, brother, sister. You got everything from all of them. And then we got some stuff from there. So let me check out some of these comments. I'll get right back to that. Breezy Comics Collectibles. I love these streams. Feels like chilling with the bros. That's why I do it. That's why I always say, man, it's just like we're shooting the shit. We're having a cool conversation with each other. Not much in review or preview, but mainly. Oh wait, Dynamo for. Oh wait, yeah, he goes over. I'm pretty. Like I said, I think he goes over every single cover. I mean, I don't, because I feel like. I don't know. I already feel like in those videos I cover too much. And because I do the stream on Tuesdays where we can talk about all of the books. And yeah, it's nice to go over all the books and it'd be cool to go over all the covers. But there's a shitload of publishers. There's a lot of different covers. Some of these books are important with shit going on in them. And if I'm reading them, I'm obviously going to talk about them for a little bit. And I don't want to have some 35-minute, 40-minute video coming out, and I just feel like that would be an absolute waste of time for everybody. Like, I don't know, I'd be sitting there rattling off this crap, and you guys would just be I don't know, I feel like you guys would just get so bored. So I cover what I cover, and I have fun doing it. So obscure, that is a fact. Kevin O'Shea, I am, and I'm going to be covering that one. Well, actually, next up is all of the Image ones. So I'm going to be covering that one today, too. I've got from Image, I'm not done with Ghost Lore, so don't forget about that. But from Image, I've got Ambassadors, Something Epic, Old Dogs, Phantom Road, and then Noctara. Oh, is this a miniseries from Boom? I can only assume this is going to be a miniseries, although the last one Cullen Bunn did for Boom Studios was also only supposed to be a miniseries, and it got bumped to, what was Basilisk, like 12 issues or something along those lines? I don't even know if they gave it an actual ending. I think it's supposed to be coming back. But if I had to take a guess, it's probably going to be like a 5 or 6 issue miniseries. Let's see if it pops up on previews. Oh, shit. No, it's a 12-issue series. So it's actually a 12-issue series. All right, well, that answers that. Let's see. Did I find cover F for Something Epic? Which one was cover F? E. Oh, no, I didn't see cover F there. My shop had the Terminator one. They had the A of 15. And then the cover A and the M&M show. They did not have the cover F Nintendo one. And they didn't have the 3D exclusive, that kind of Howard the Duck dinosaur looking fucking one. Let's see. Phantom Rose legit. Dude, that's awesome. Well, I'm going to tell you straight up. You have to see it through. You have to keep going on with it, because at some point it might seem maybe drawn out. It might not seem like there's a lot of stuff going on, but it's all eventually going to come together. If you've never read Gideon Falls, I'm getting those vibes, not nearly on the same horror level, but I'm kind of getting that type of a story. And I think Sweet Tooth was similar as well. I feel like there's a few parts in Sweet Tooth where I started to get a little bored with it, but it picked right back up. So we got Ghost Lore. We got our main characters kind of right here on the front. I think the main character is pretty much the dad. And he is a priest or a pastor. Whatever he does, he reads the church gospels at church. I don't know what they're called. The hymns, the prayers, whatever it is, he reads the shit off at church. And his daughter doesn't really talk to him. Or the mom, she's in those teenage years, she just wants to go off and do her own thing. Son doesn't really talk at all, and the wife is just trying to keep things together. The church is getting smaller and smaller. There was a big tragedy that happened in the little, small, tiny community that they already are in, and it kind of made a lot of them lose faith in religion, because they thought, a small town like this, how could this big mass murder actually happen? Is God real? Is whatever? So you kind of see them losing faith a little bit, and you see the dad kind of giving up faith too. He's like, man, I do this for the people. I need to try to save this town. I gotta read the prayers off to them and Bible and all that stuff. The daughter wants nothing to do with it. That was actually the picture I showed you. It was the daughter smoking cigs. She's just out here living her best life, to be honest with you. But that, for the most part, is what a lot of this issue is. It goes a little bit more in depth. You get a lot of story between the family. And then that's when something crazy happens. And I'm going to show you one picture without any of the spoilers. So the daughter's driving and she sees that ghost. And she swerves off the side of the road and gets into a crash. And that's when everything happens. I don't want to spoil too much. I think for the most part, a lot of it was actually in the description. So they get into the crash. You learn the story of the son, why the son is quiet and he doesn't really talk much because he had something crazy happen to him. And then that ghost that you saw that made her swerve and crash, you start to see a lot of other ghosts. And them as, regular humans, they can see these ghosts. And they're trying to get a hold of them. They're trying to tell them their stories. But some other stuff happens too. I definitely recommend checking this one out. Cullen Bunn does a killer job at writing horror. And I think he's got something special on his hands so far with this one. And now, we've got all the image books to go over. We've got 2, 4, 5. I'm going to go over Phantom Road first because Phantom Road... Oh, did I add Phantom Road? I think I did. Yeah. All right, because Phantom Road is the only digital one that I had to read from Image. Oh, and yeah, the artist on this one is Leomax. I don't know the first name off the top of my head. It just says Leomax. So that is the artist. But Phantom Road, this one took a little bit different of a take. At first, I was like, no, because I want to know what's going on with our main characters. I want to learn more about the world that they're in. But some stuff happened in this one that kind of shows that you can still go in between both of these worlds. We learned a lot more about the world in the last issue, kind of how it runs parallel with the actual reality, and now they're in this separate reality, but they can, kind of see the other one still. But that monster that the main character killed in the first issue is in the real world now in this third issue, and you've got police, you've got FBI, they're all wondering what the hell this thing is, what happened to it. They don't even know if it's a male or a female. The body looks burned, but at the same time, it doesn't look burned. It looks decayed. So this issue focused more on the FBI agent and everything that's kind of going on in this town. As the issue progressed a little bit more, the main character, that FBI lady, you saw kind of what happened to her when she was younger, and she's starting to put 2 and 2 together. that the front cover is a big giveaway as to what really goes on in kind of this third issue. That gas station is going to be playing a big role in this series. It was just another awesome issue. I tell you, I'm always hyping up Jeff Lemire. Somebody asked earlier, most consistent. I think it was the most consistent writer as of late. It's 100% Jeff in my opinion. I know somebody did an interview with him. Was it Lost in Comics? I think Lost in Comics. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I watched a good chunk of that, and I thought they did a great job interviewing as well. I have the physical copy and the artist of credit. Oh, thank you, Uncle Obscure. I was gonna say I'm trying to look at that. Yeah, Gabriel. I was gonna say I'm not even sure if I can read that. All right, cool. Kaiser said it. Lost in Comics. That was a good interview. I watched a good chunk of it. Let's see. May's book. Oh, dude, May's book was awesome. I was so happy that I was able to get all the issues for that one. I think they have a very tiny hardcover for it, too. Move on to the next one. We've got... Let me get this out of the way. So we've got Old Dog. This is issue number 4, but I think you can definitely jump into this one without reading the other ones. I'm pretty positive... Is it upside down? Oh, I know. We're good. This is cover B if anyone was interested, which also sucks. I thought it was cover A. But this was the only one my shop had. Oh, no way, dude. Lost in Comics. He's interviewing some good people, man. Everybody tune in for that, too. If I had his thing up, I would bring it up for you guys, but I currently don't. But we got Old Dog. Like I was saying, I think you can jump into this one and not be too lost. You're obviously not going to know our main character right there. I forget what his name is. He said it right. It's right there in the front. Jack Lynch. So this is actually like a description of him. Jack Lynch is a disgraced CIA officer still clinging to a previously distinguished career. On his final field mission, which was the last series, disaster strikes, leaving him in a coma for 8 years. When the shadow group Black Circle offers Lynch a second chance at life of adventure, he's paired with the last person he could ever imagine, his estranged daughter. Now, I don't think this issue really focuses on that mission with the estranged daughter, but you do learn about her. You see their interactions with each other over the years. It jumps between the past and the present a little bit. I like that dynamic. You see how he's a shit father. He's also like a complete shit human being as well, because he is on a mission where something happens to him. And the whole guy that's kind of attacking him was like, man, I was your protege. You raised me up. You showed me all the moves, and you don't even remember who I am. And he's like, man, it's a cruel world out there, bud. So he's definitely a shitty person. But I like the moments that he had with his daughter, because she's all of a sudden looking for him. When she eventually finds him, he's like, oh, that's it? You didn't really have anything to say to me? And she just kind of walks away, and he says something. When they bring that back later in the issue, it's kind of the same situation, except she said that phrase to him, and he had no idea what that was from, so you saw the disappointment in her face. It was a very well written. Who did this one? Is it Declan Shalvey? Yeah, Declan Shalvey with Clinton Cowles on it. This was a fun one. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and this was kind of more of a, I don't want to call it a last second pickup, but I really wasn't sure if I was going to be grabbing it, but I'm really glad I did. I liked it. Let's see. Yeah, so technically the start of a new arc, but that's why I was saying I don't think you really need to read the other stuff to get a grasp onto this one. An absolute version of May's book. What? Oh, signed and limited. I was like, was it like May's book's like 4 or 5 issues, isn't it? Old Dog comes out so sporadically that I dropped it. Dude, Kevin O'Shea, I feel that. I totally get it. I think it was only supposed to be a 3-issue miniseries, though. That's the thing. So when I saw it pop up, I was pretty excited again. Then we've got... Ooh, what do we want to do next? These issues are all great. These last 3 I'm going to be talking about were all really good issues. I'm going to bring up Noctara. This is issue number 14. It's a cover C. It's the only one I was able to get. I don't like black and white covers. I don't think they're that nice. And when you see what the actual cover looks like in comparison to this, it's just such a letdown, because the actual cover is all white, like, right. So the outside is all white like this, But when you see her, it's got like this red and yellow. It kind of looks like they're walking into Eos and everything is just shining down on her. That's kind of what the regular cover A looks like. And I just don't think this is that nice in comparison. But either way, it was still a really good issue. I really liked how it kind of focused once again on the younger brother. I believe his name is Emery. And you got to see... Is it Emery? Yeah, I'm pretty positive it's Emery. Sorry about that. But you get to see his life kind of growing up. And I mean, we've seen that a lot in this series. How he was as a kid, what his home life was like, growing up with his sister, whatever. But this one, he found his long-lost mom. And you kind of got to see their relationship. You kind of got to see them, how they were with each other, and kind of how that all fell apart. So that was a really good part of the story. That's one of my favorite things actually about Noctara. They do a lot of flashbacks, not in every single issue, but they do a lot of flashbacks though. And I feel like it always adds an extra layer of depth to the story. Because realistically, the mom plays zero role in this story. To an extent, it doesn't really matter that even happened at all, because what did it really affect as far as the rest of this issue goes? But you get to see how Emery reacts to that. You get to see how that molded Emery into kind of a new person. What that whole meeting, how everything transpired between them both, what that actually did to him as a person. And now him being in Eos and everything going on with that, I guess you can kind of put two and two together and see how that affected him now. So I like that aspect to these. You saw the same thing with the sister too, not in this issue obviously, but just growing up, how she took care of Emery, what happened when the parents turned, how that affected her, and how it kind of turned her into the leader that she is. So man, overall the writing of this series is just phenomenal. It really is, in my opinion. I gotta look that up. Does rule... Did I miss something? Maybe them. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, damn. Birth mom, or is it mom that... Birth mom. K-bar. Image is 70% of my pull list. I think Image is most of my pull list. 100%. Yeah, Mr. Negative adds all this new depth to the characters. It adds that extra layer to the story. And instead of just seeing like Val and Emery and just them in this new world that's currently, with all the darkness, you get to see how, like, who they are and how they got to that point. What's happened to them in the past. What happened to them when they were younger. And man, it's just... I feel for a lot of these characters, and it's everything that happened in this one then too, with Eos, all that stuff, and then Blacktop Bill made an appearance. It's definitely one of the best ones from Image, in my opinion. That's Kaiser. That's actually what I did. I didn't read the whole thing though. I wasn't gonna bring it up, but actually, let me double check now. I don't know, man. There could be. I wouldn't be surprised, especially with AI. You can do anything nowadays. Can't imagine Image isn't crushing DC and Marvel combined as far as comic sales go. They have to be at this point. Because I feel like Marvel's only surviving based on spec. I mean, they do have some good series. I don't want to talk too down on them. They've got some good series on their hands, but for the most part, they're not. Let me show you some more artwork. We got to see more Nox. We learned more about Lux in this one. A lot of good stuff. That's the granddad from that little girl from earlier in the series. Well, I don't remember her name, though. I'm going to be honest with you. He's kind of more like an AI character now, obviously. But yeah, we learned about so much stuff going on in EOS. Why they created EOS, why they kind of sealed it off from everybody else, and why they created this. It's you learned actually more about Lux and Nox, about the darkness and the light, and how they've been at war since the beginning too. Piper actually sounds right. Now that you mention it, I think Piper does sound right. It's always crazy because, I mean, I know a lot more. I know other people get a lot more comics than I do, but even like with these 12, it's just these, or 13, whatever I got. It's these 12 and 13 from this week alone. And then imagine a whole separate batch of 13 books next week and the week after that. And man, so many characters, so many storylines to keep track of. I finished reading some of these books, and then I kind of sometimes have to re-gloss over them when I'm done reading them to kind of make sure I read what I thought I read. And every once in a while, before even these streams, I re-pan through it again. Like, all right, this is what happened in this one. Just so I sound like, you know, I actually read them and I'm knowledgeable on it all. And it makes me remember it a little bit better. Let's see. Joseph L. I got 23 Image books on the pull list. 1 DC and 1 Marvel. Whew. Vast majority of people buying Marvel or only buy more. A vast majority of people only buy Marvel or DC. It's really only us heavy fans that go all in on indies. I can agree with that too. But I feel like Image might be different. I would be interested to see how shop sales go with Image, because yes, you know, Marvel, DC, but a lot of people don't buy a lot of Marvel and DC. It's like you said, either Marvel or DC. But Image, I don't know. Let's see. All right, next one. What do we want to do next? We're going to talk about something epic next. This was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I thought this was a really solid one. And let me show you the artwork. The artwork blew my mind. It really did. I got to make sure these pictures are all good real quick. Look at this art. This is legit. I don't think me putting it up on camera like that really does it justice. I think it looks way better even in person. Look at that. It was such a well-written story. The artwork was phenomenal. I kept going back and re-looking at these pages. Let me show you one more page, because I don't want to spoil all of it for you. But the premise of this one was very unique and very creative. Let's see. Uncle Obscure says, my LCS told him it's Marvel, Image, and DC as a distant third. I believe that. I believe, despite the shit that I talk on Marvel, and a lot of you guys do too, I think Marvel still holds it down quite well. They've got a ton of titles. Think about it. All the Spider-Man stuff, all of the X-Men stuff, all of the Star Wars stuff. They're going heavy on what they know sells. They're not stupid. That's why you see a lot of 5-issue miniseries with just some of these obscure characters, just so they can get them out there and the public can remember who the hell they are. But there's a reason they have 10 different Spider-Man and Star Wars series going on at once, because everybody loves that shit. Howard the Duck cover, book side there. Dude, I'm telling you. So what it's about, we got our main character. I think his name is Danny. Let me double check on that real quick. I guess it doesn't really matter to begin. Oh yeah, his name's Daniel. And he never really found his place in the world. He's just a little kid, so it's not like he's that old or anything. But he doesn't feel like he fits in. A lot of weird stuff goes on with him. They talk about the imagination. They talk about different realities and how your brain works. And when you get older, you start to lose that imagination. And the connectors in your brain, they don't work as well as they did when you were younger. Except a small population, when you do get older, you keep all of that. You keep all of those same like brain waves, everything going on in your brain, all the creativeness, all the imaginations, none of that leaves. And with our main character here, Daniel, things are going on around him that are basically from his imagination and just a different reality. And it's almost as if this imagination world and this creative world is in the same reality as the one that he's living in. So he gets to see all these different characters out in public. He gets to see all these monsters. And a lot of them try to communicate with him, but he just kind of ignores everything. And he thought it was just him that can do this. And then he meets somebody. Well, somebody runs into him and realizes that he saw one of the other characters too. So this older guy's like, it's him. Like, we've got another one of us. So while we didn't learn a whole lot in this first issue, outside of that, it really did just focus on Daniel. And I don't want to call them powers. I think he referred to him as either a curse or a blessing, however you want to look at it. But it focused on some of the imagination characters that he's been running into. I think there's a vampire. Maybe it's Jesus because he's referring to a Bible. And there's a lot of other cool things going on. And they talk about some of these characters. So I think this is really cool. I recommend checking it out, especially for the artwork alone. And plus this cover, the M&M show, it's cool as shit. But let me know what you thought about this one too. I don't want to get into too much with that one. Like a lot of these, so I always say like, I don't want to spoil too much for you guys, but a lot of issue 1s, they're very important to the series because it's the first issue. It's really going to pull you in, or it's just going to, you're either feeling it or you're not really feeling it. There's not a lot of times after that first issue where you're like, it's okay, I guess I'll continue on with it. You need to be left with, yes, that shit was awesome. I'm excited for the next one. I can't wait to see where they go with it. And I don't want to ruin that for you guys. I want to tell you, yes, I liked it. Here's why I liked it. Here's a little bit about it. But I want you guys to experience that for yourselves. 4-issue run or 5. That I don't know off the top of my head either. I can look that up too. It doesn't actually have anything next to it, so I'm not sure what the game plan is with that series. Usually when previews doesn't have a thing next to it, it's supposed to be ongoing, but I'm not 100% sure if this was going to be an... it says series premiere, and usually it'll say mini-series premiere, so I think it's going to be an ongoing. Let's see. Kevin O'Shea, dude, love these live streams. You're like a rock star. man, I'm just another fucking average person, bro. But that really means a lot to me. I appreciate it. And in case if you guys were wondering, I'm not sure how it is where you guys are, but it's absolutely hot as all hell where I am. As you can tell, I'm sweaty as life, and I think I've got like 2 sips left in my fucking Happy Holidays cup. And that water's actually warm now too. I think it's like 75 in this house. It's horrible. Let's see. Oh my god. I want to know if... I just read Kaiser's comment too. Mr. Negative says, it's ongoing characters and series. A lot of people really don't care about trying out new stuff. They just want to see what happens with their favorite characters. For Marvel, I absolutely agree with that. Who's after Dark Horse and Boom? I think... I'm going to be honest, I feel like there's a lot of indie companies that are above Dark Horse. I really do. That might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't know. I feel like Dark Horse isn't as big as what they used to be. Let's see. I want to know if Image can still be considered indie or main. I feel like they're indie, but they are absolutely main. Dark Horse Horror is good, I will say that. Dark Horse still has bangers. I mean, I'm not saying they don't, but when I see a lot of stuff they come out with, I know Dark Horse is one of the publishers my shop doesn't really get. They get some, but they don't get many. They do. Spitzkoff, that might just be my shit take on that one. Valiant did used to be very big. All right, folks. The Ambassadors number 4. Is it the last one because it's the pick of the week? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. We're going to be getting to the tier list next, but damn, The Ambassadors is such a good series. What is it? Is it K-Bar? I think K-Bar said that this series is just okay to them. Kaiser, I was going to make that joke, bro. I was going to say what not or bad idea, but I didn't. But no, you did, so I decided to say it anyway. Where Monsters Lie is an absolute banger. All 8 Eyes I thought was just okay. The first issue was all right to me. Clear, I really liked the first issue. I did buy the 3rd issue, but it turns out I don't have the 2nd issue. I thought I had the 2nd one, but I don't. So I didn't read the 3rd one yet. All right, cool. I want to make sure. I'm telling you, bro, how do you not like this? This issue is so good. I love how they set the series up, where every issue they're focusing on kind of like a new superhero from a new country. Like this one. We got our main character. This is actually cover C, not cover A. But they're getting a new superhero, I believe, from Brazil in this one. Yeah, it's definitely Brazil. You can tell from the front cover. But they're getting a new superhero. This one's from Brazil. And obviously, there's a lot of crime going on in Brazil. There's a lot of militia. There's a lot of organized crime with the gangs and shit like that. And we got a priest who's trying to hold things down in the community. And he's very outspoken about this stuff. And this is one of our main characters right there on the front cover. And she's always saying, you know, I joined them so I could do the best I could about relieving some of these situations, but you really need to just kind of, you know, keep your mouth shut on some of this stuff, because as much as I'm trying to protect you and everybody around here, I can't. And the priest just kind of keeps going at her like, well, you know, you did join them, you joined that group, so you're still doing all of these bad things. And you kind of see it hit her where she's like, oh, you know, I'm doing the best I could to survive, but keep everybody safe around me at the same time. So that's kind of a side portion of the story. The focus is on the priest. They bring him in. They said, you know, this is going to be you. Everybody in your parish, they said, I think there's like 2,000 write-ins for this priest to become it. And he wants nothing to do with it. He wants nothing to be the superhero. He says God's on his side. God's going to protect everybody. He's already formed his team. He's already with he's got his superpowers with God. He doesn't need the ambassadors, whoever that main lady is. Stuff happens from there, obviously. I mean, you're looking at the front cover right now. Some other things happen with that lady that was part of the gang. But I'll tell you what. Every time I'm done reading the ambassadors, I want the next issue. They do a great job on it. I love the artwork. Speaking of, I should show you some of the artwork. My God, I'm telling you, when I first picked the series up and everyone was like, oh, it's going to be a different artist on every single issue, I was telling myself, I said, that's a terrible idea. Like, I don't know if I'm going to like that. But they have done a stupendous job on it. Every single issue, the artwork has just been on point. But that's what I'm going to leave you with on this one, because I don't want to spoil the main plot. The cover's basically a fucking spoiler to begin with. But man, the ambassadors, it's always a good read. It's always a great read. I should say that much. Uncle Obscure says Ambassadors is a killer. I was a bad idea stan when they first came out. I wasn't, and I'm gonna be honest. It's because I couldn't get the books. That's what it was. I had no shops in the area that could get them. I had to order them online. They were expensive. So I was that dude in the back, like everybody else with the pitchfork. It's like, man, fuck bad idea. I can't get their books. That's pretty much what it was. And then I started reading them. I'll tell you what, the books are pretty good. But I'm still on the same page. Let's see. What else did I miss? Aftershock had potential. They absolutely had potential. They had a lot of really good books. And we all see how that happened. What came from that. My local shop is owned by Dark Horse. Oh, that's cool. And I wish I liked more of the releases, but it's just not my jam for the most part. I feel that way on a lot. I'll tell you what, Dynamite. Black Box Comics. I'm very new to them. I am very new to their books, and I really liked what I've read so far. I think I'm 5 deep. I didn't read any more from the other day, or Tuesday stream. I didn't read any more from that, but man, Project Icarus, best one I've read so far. Dream Master's coming up soon. K-Bar, you gotta give it another shot. Let's see. I hope Ambassadors leads into big game. Ambassadors take on Nemesis. Maybe. Yeah, I don't have ENIAC's first print, but ENIAC's first print's very cheap right now. I'll tell you that. I saw them for a very good price on eBay. But those are all the books, folks, and you know what time it is. We are doing a tier list. Oh, this is going to be fucking awesome. I'm so excited for this. Let's see. All right. We're going to be going down like we did. What do we start off with? We're going to set the tone. We're going to start with Marvel like I always do, because Marvel usually sucks, and you know, that's usually a good baseline for where the rest of the book should be. We're going to go right in on Daredevil. This is a good read. I wish I could bring it up and show you guys again, but I had to read this one digitally. Artwork is always great. I love the new take on Daredevil. I really do. I love the new direction of his character. I like how he's not evil, but he's just kind of a little bit more, I guess, assertive, vigilante, that he's willing to go the next step that's not the side of the law. And Chip Zdarsky's doing a killer job writing it. And I'll tell you what, guys, Am I going too strong on this first one? I think it's a solid B plus that could sneak into an A minus. I really do. Dynamite the booby books. They are the booby books. Those are also on. Uncle Obscure, I do have it. I actually... Hold on, I got it right here, I think. I thought I had it right there. See, I do have Clear 2, or Clear issue number 3. I grabbed both of them, but I don't, I'm not caught up in the series. I gotta read all of Junkyard Joe. My shop, I missed out on, I think, issues 3 and 4, or 4 and 5, or something like that, so I had to wait to get those. Pedro, see, that's actually what I was gonna do. It was either gonna be an A minus or a B plus, and I think I'm sticking with a B plus on this one. So it's as of now, it's most likely going to be the highest B. The other one we got was Silk. I'm gonna bring that one up for you guys, so I'll show you that real quick. We got Silk, brand new series. So I liked it. I like the artwork. I think the artwork's the main reason I grabbed it. Oh, sorry about that. The artwork was the main reason I grabbed it. It brought me in. I like the dialogue. I like the character. The only problem is I didn't know what was going on. I didn't read the prior Silk stuff. And I'm looking at a brand new number 1. I'm expecting, as a new reader jumping into a series, I should be able to enjoy it as it is. I shouldn't have to go back and read whatever happened in the last volume, just like this Daredevil series I just got done talking about. It was the exact same way. It picked up exactly where the last series left off. That's not really a brand new number 1. That's the continuation. So for that reason, while I did enjoy it, I'm going to have to put it in at a C. Because I didn't know who the characters were at the very end. I didn't know why she was in that world. I didn't know why she was abducted to begin with. I don't know what the hell is going on. But I like the action that was happening, so that's why it's going to stay at a high C. Hey, high C! Alright. But those are all Marvel. So I started with Marvel because I knew Daredevil was going to be a high B or an A minus, and I had a good idea that Silk was probably going to be a B minus or a C. So realistically, if Daredevil was an A, then Silk would have been a B. But we're starting with that. High C, Lava Burst. Oh, Lava Burst, baby! Yeah, Silk won for the 5th time. I feel like Silk pops up all the time. I think this is an ongoing, though. So then what we're going to be moving into is Dynamite. The first one we've got today is Scar, issue number 2. I feel bad putting both of these here. Well, this one, I should say. But I think for Scar number 2, like I said, I didn't think there's anything special about it. We know what's going to happen in the story. And I don't know. I'm not... No, I did. Spitzkoff, I read it. I enjoyed it. I just don't think there was anything special about this one. I'm going to put this one in at a D. The artwork was nice, but I don't know. It's a Disney book. It's already not my thing. I went into the first one because I thought the first one was really good. But I found this one boring. I didn't find to be anything really that special about it. And I just have a feeling I know exactly where the story is going to be going now, and it is what it is. The other one from Dynamite this week, I'm looking at it, we got King Kong. This one to me was another letdown. I felt I'm not bored reading it, because I was bored reading Scar. I didn't feel bored reading Kong. I was just hoping for more. I liked the artwork. I thought the artwork was great. I'm sorry I can't show you the artwork for it. The problem is that it felt like I read the story. I felt like I already read it. I felt like I knew what was going to happen. There's monsters on the island, and all of a sudden, you fucking get to see King Kong. You get shipwrecked, and all of a sudden, you're here. We've seen it before. We've read it before. So I'm going to put it at a C, right under Silk. Moving into, what do we got next? We're going to do Vault. Vault, we got the Nasty. That one I do have. This is an awesome read. I actually really recommend checking this one out. John Lees is great at writing horror. The artwork, it grew on me on this issue, mainly because it doesn't seem like it's that type of a horror story that I'm used to from John Lees. I forget who it was. I think it was Chell's Art and stuff. I mentioned it was more of a campy kind of horror story, and I 100% get that vibe. I really like the characters. I like the direction. I like how this issue was laid out, and I like where we're going to be going with it, and for those reasons, I'm putting it at an A. Probably more along the lines of like an A-. But this is a really good issue. I thoroughly enjoyed reading it, and I'm really excited for the next one. Then we've got next... I have enough scars. The next one, what are we doing? Oh, we didn't do DC yet, but I'm going to do... Yeah, I'm going to do DC next. So this one, I mean... everyone seems to really like Green Lantern. I brought it up earlier. I like Green Lantern as well. And it was, I felt very new to it. I didn't really know what I was reading. I didn't know who the characters were, but I didn't feel overwhelmed. I didn't feel lost like I did reading Silk. Because Silk, I was reading like, what the hell is going on? And then when I hit the ending, I still was like, what the hell is going on? Green Lantern was more of, who the hell are these characters? And then all of a sudden, it's like, okay, I'm piecing things together. Things are making a little bit more sense. But Green Lantern was also very good. I don't want this to seem like it's a bad grade, but I'm putting it in at a B+. This is another one that I think could sneak into the A- area, but for now I'm leaving it there because for Spirit World, I'm going to be putting that in at an A. I looked at both of them, and I really enjoyed Spirit World. Maybe it is because I'm a manga anime fan, but same thing. To me, two brand new characters, two characters that I don't know a single thing about. I learned a lot more in Spirit World. I liked, they both had great artwork. They really did. But Spirit World, it felt more of like it did feel like I was reading a manga or an anime. It really did. When everyone's just jumping out at you and it's, man, you got to check that one out, guys. So that one to me is more of like an A- story. I was gonna get into it again, but I was like, I just got done reviewing all of it. I don't want to bore you guys with that shit once again. And then we got Boom Studios' book. This is a great one. I was really impressed with Colin Bunn's work on this one. Let me bring it up. Ghost Lore, issue number 1. Here's the artwork again for it. I had a slight vibe of... there was like a Netflix show that was kind of about a priest with monsters or vampires or something. And I don't know why it reminded me of this book. I feel like it had nothing to do with it. It wasn't similar at all, but I kept being reminded of it for whatever reason. But Colin Bunn always kills it on the horror. I love the artwork for this one. And I'll tell you what, guys, this is going to be another A, and this one's going above the nasty. This was potentially... This one, I think, could have snuck into the S tier, but I don't like to overload on S's. I like to be very specific with the S. I like to usually only give it to 1, maybe 2 books a week if there's something that's like, wow, this is really good. And it was very good. No, I'm not reading Superman Lost, but that was, so I kind of told myself when I said I've never read a Superman book before, it was either going to be Superman Lost or the Dawn of DC Superman. And I kind of wish I grabbed Lost too. And I mean, they're only a couple issues in. I could definitely go back and grab them. Because I've heard phenomenal things about them. But as of now, only on Superman Dawn of DC 1. And I think that's it from all of those. So now we've got Image. Image always kills it, guys. Image always kills it. So the first one we got, I'm going to do Phantom Road. I love Phantom Road. I really like the kind of different take on this issue. We don't get to see our main characters. We get introduced to new characters. And we get to see that dead body is in the real world. And they have no idea what this thing is. They're trying to figure things out. It's another Jeff Lemire kind of slow burn type of book. Still very good, though. I'm going to be putting this one in under Green Lantern. So I kind of think... So, like I said, Green Lantern could have snuck into the A. But these are both high B+. I put them pretty much on the same level, in my opinion. Then we've got Old Dog. Old Dog was another good one. Admittedly, I forgot who the main character was. I feel like it's been so long since the last Old Dog issue came out. It's probably been well over a year at this point. But this is another good one. This one, to me, I'm gonna put it in above Daredevil. It's definitely better than Daredevil. Probably, maybe the same level as Daredevil. Two types of different stories. Both had a good amount. Well, they both had a decent amount of action. Old Dog had a lot more action. But as far as the story goes, they didn't really get into where the story was going as far as this first issue was, or as far as the first issue goes. They focused on the daughter and the main character from the last volume. It's so weird for me to like DC over Marvel lately. Oh, dude, that's what I'm saying. That Summer of Symbiotes, I have zero interest in it. And the thing is when I read a lot of these DC books, they don't feel like they're designed for kids. And I've brought this up before, but a lot of the Marvel books that I've been reading, it almost feels like it doesn't know who the intended audience is. Should it be an adult reading it? Like, who's reading this? Some 50, 60-year-old guy? Is it going to be a teenager? Is it a kid? Who's reading these stories? Because they're all over the place. You don't know what you're going to be getting from a lot of these Marvel titles. And I think that's been one of my big problems with the books I've been picking up lately, is I don't know who the intended audience is. Like, I read Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur. That was absolutely meant for kids, but it was a good story. Strange Academy, in the beginning, it felt like it was meant towards kids, and I think a lot of people passed on it because it had that vibe. It came off as a kid's book. But then it got a little bit more darker, and you're like, hold on, hold the phone, pump the brakes. This shit's good. And I feel that way with a lot of stuff that I'm reading from them. I just don't know who the hell it's for. Ooh, we got some bangers coming up. I'm going to go with Noctara next. Noctara number 14. That, if you can see that little bit, that's what cover A actually is. And like I said, it's way better than the cover C that I got. It really is. Another week for the indies. The indies are going to continue to kill it, but I will tell you, DC had a fire week from what I read. Noctara, I love the story with Emery. I love seeing that he met his birth mom. It was so sad to see what happened with her. We learned a lot more about Eos. We learned about the people and the creatures in Eos. Nux. Not Nox. What's Nux from? Is Nux from, what was the movie with Tom Hardy? The remake. Oh my goodness, I can't remember it off the top of my head. Set in the future. It used to be Mel Gibson back in the day. That's Nux. But we learned about Lux and Nox and how they've been at a war with each other. Noctara doesn't miss. It never misses. So this one, I'm putting it above the Nasty. Another A. There's a lot of A's this week, and they're all well-deserved. They are all very good books. Let's see. You don't need to baby kids, though, like when I was a kid. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Oh, yeah, and Kevin O'Shea and Blacktop Bill's appearance in it and what he brought. It's a great read. Now we got Something Epic. Something Epic was a really good concept. I think for a first issue it was a little slow, but that's not a problem at all. Because I liked what they did with it. I actually have that sitting right here. And obviously I grabbed the M&M cover. This shit's so fire. And I like how it kind of spans onto the back too. Like, that's the final page of the book. I don't know if that was supposed to happen or what, but you see these pages and this artwork is just... Oh, this is the one I was talking about. I gotta show you this page really quick. This isn't a big spoiler or anything. No, not Blade Runner. There we look at that. Like, he's just living his life with all these characters around him. It was such a unique story, and it was very imaginative. I mean, the whole thing's about creativity and their imagination. But that one, that could really go some directions, and I'm really pumped to see what happens with it. But yeah. It's got to go right here. Oh, shit. Now I don't know. These are tough. These last ones are tough. These are all very good. Mad Max. Craig Walker got it. It's Mad Max. Oh, shit. Something Epic. There we go. Something Epic is an A. I put Noctara and Ghost Lore more of an A+, and that one's an A. The other ones are more like A-minuses. And now we've come down to the last one, and yes, you guessed it, it is my top read of the week. It was fucking awesome, and for that reason, it gets an S. The Ambassadors is a great read. I love the artwork. I love the style of the story. I love the characters in this one. I love the development of everything that's been happening. You can't go wrong with Mark Millar on this one. Olivier Coipel is on the artist. Let me show you another page or two on this. I don't know if I can show that one, but oh my God. When you learn more about these characters and the powers that they can get, and you learn, I think the thing is with this is that you're learning their stories. You're learning why they deserve these superpowers. And for this one, for example, you saw how she's kind of bad, but she's trying to be good at the same time. And the priest saw that in her. And as soon as she, oh shit, well that's a spoiler. Sorry. But as soon as she got those powers then, and you saw how she was able to just utilize them and use them for good, it's so good. It's such a great story. And that, folks, is this week's new comic book day. We had a lot of bangers coming out on top. Ambassadors, easily the read of the week. Chat, everybody in the house right now, you guys all fucking rock. I love you all. It's the best community ever. I love talking comics with you guys. I love your opinions. I love the recommendations you guys all give me. Thank you so much for watching the stream. Thank you so much, everybody that's been chatting it up, giving me all of your recommendations and everything. You guys seriously are the best. I've got my Discord right there on top. It's free to join. We're actually almost like 50 people now. This shit's awesome. I love it. It's so cool. But if you got any questions about it, let me know. Reach out to me on Instagram. If there's anything else I've got going on, I don't recall off the top of my head. So on that note, have a great rest of your week, everybody. Enjoy your new comic book day books. Thank you again so much for all the support. Love you guys. Tell your family you love them too. And I will see you on the next one.